Jaylo,
Yes,
how are you doing?
I'm good. Good.
Tell me about this morning.
Nothing too exciting. We had a good breakfast. It was really nice.
What'd you eat?
And I had some eggs and fried rice and some fish. It was really good fish, too.
Uh-oh. Anything
Nice
else?
and crispy. Banana.
But nothing else happened, though. Just breakfast.
Just breakfast. Nothing else happened except for breakfast, and I was watching a little bit of TV, and that was about it.
What'd you watch?
One of the things I watched, I was watching a little bit of Hoarders, and then I was watching, I don't remember what the name of the show is on HLN, because HLN has like a bunch of, it's a channel that features court cases, and it was talking about the Michelle Parker case. You heard of that case?
No, I don't know who that is.
Michelle Parker was a lady that was missing. She was a mom that was missing in Florida. And the suspect was her ex-fiancé. And I didn't get to hear all of it because I went in the shower. So I don't know what happened. I have to look it up then.
Nice. I was surprised you watched HLN because isn't that a CNN channel?
No, it's not. HLN is a totally different channel.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of Headline News.
No, HLN is a channel that is focused on court cases and things like that.
But they still have court TV or no?
It's called True TV now. It's been called True TV now for a long time.
Oh.
Court TV is now True TV.
Wow. So they don't air court cases then?
Right.
What do they show?
I know that they, so this of course is like 7 years ago. HLN has, shows a lot of like high profile cases like the Jodi Arias case, and then they, I forgot the other cases they show, but sometimes they'll show court hearings, and sometimes if they hit a sidebar, they can't show what's going on in there.
Why did they change the name?
They changed that name a long time ago.
No, but why?
Why? I don't know why.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. They changed Court TV to True TV, and I'm guessing that they show court cases, but they show other stuff too. I keep getting that channel mixed up with HLN because HLN talks about high profile cases and stuff like that. So
weird, all these cable networks, babe.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of the loop with them now because I'm like, oh, what is it? What's on this one now?
Yeah, I don't think I've watched cable TV like regularly since the early 2000s. Like 2003 was the last time I watched it on like a pretty much a daily basis. But I think the last time I actually like saw cable television in a significant way was maybe 2005.
Yeah, you missed a lot of stuff. But then, I think, I had a TV until 2011, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I had when I was living on my own at one time, I had a TV until 2011, and granted, it was a smaller TV, and it didn't have a lot of channels in the past. And then when I went to college, I had a cable set up in the place I was living in, so I had like a whole bunch of channels.
But you were probably so busy with school that you didn't really have a chance to watch it, though.
No, I still watched it. I usually, if I wasn't watching it, I kept it on because it was, sometimes it got too quiet in there.
Interesting. You know what I used to like back in the day, babe?
Yes.
Was you remember the music, I think they were called the music choice channels?
You told me about that, and I don't think I ever really listened to it.
Yeah, so in case you don't remember me giving the explanation, they were basically like these really cool radio stations without DJs or commercials that played through your cable TV. And I remember coming across these in like the late 90s. So they would have music from like the 20s, or they'd have old school hip hop, or, rock music. And you could just tune to a different channel. They'd have some imagery on the TV, like kind of like what screensavers are now with computers, and you just listen to the music.
That kind of reminds me of...
yeah, I remember really liking it because they had a good selection.
That kind of reminds me of the very early days of VH1.
Yeah, but I don't think VH1 played that much of a variety of music. And Music Choice did.
Music Choice. Well, okay, so VH1, I think you're right about that. VH1 didn't have a lot of variety, but I don't remember those. I don't remember that. I do remember that when I would visit Hawaii, and also when I was living in Hawaii, there was a channel that would be used to broadcast one of our local radio stations. I don't know why they had that, but they would have it on the TV so you could listen to music from your TV, which I thought was kind of strange at the time.
Yeah, we had that too. Sounds like there's something going on in your background, babe.
No.
Okay.
There isn't.
I thought it was something. Like a weird...
Well, and
static.
It might be static, but I'm actually upstairs. Everybody's downstairs.
That's good, babe, boys.
Mhm.
But yeah, I remember cable access used to do that if they didn't have a show to play. They'd rebroadcast some local radio station. And I never thought like that because I just didn't think that was very interesting. But I loved the music channels that you could just listen to music on through cable. But now there's so many different ways to listen to music that it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter whether you listen from your TV or not.
Right. And why would you when you have smart speakers or your cell phone? Which is kind of like the modern day.
I don't think it really matters how you listen to it as long as you listen to it.
Yeah, but I mean, why would you listen through a TV though? That's what I'm trying to say.
That is true. I still think it's kind of strange, but yeah, that is true.
Jaylo.
Mhm.
I'm feeling a little bit down physically today.
Really? Why?
I think I told you yesterday that my throat was feeling a little weird. So I woke up this morning. I went to bed around 10:30. I woke up around 1:30, and my throat was feeling worse. I fell back asleep at 1:45, and then I woke up and it's 1:30 again, and I'm trying to figure this out in my head because, of course, I forgot that it was daylight savings time. So I'm like, how did I go to sleep at 1:45 and now it's 1:30? And it took me like 5 minutes to realize, oh, yeah, that's right. I get out of bed.
I forgot too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. My throat is hurting. I make some hot water with some lemon juice and some honey, and I drink that, and my throat is killing me. So I'm thinking, oh, God, I got to go into complete lockdown. Luckily, I got a Walmart order this morning, and because I knew I was feeling down yesterday, I ordered some vitamin D, some vitamin C, and some echinacea. But they only had echinacea in the pill form. So finally, I go back to sleep around 3:30. I wake up, it's almost 7, and I feel better than I did last night. I still don't feel 100%, but I've definitely noticed an improvement from when I went to bed till now.
Oh, because you drank the honey and lemon and you got your order?
Yeah, I think it was because of the honey and lemon, and luckily I did get the vitamins this morning.
Okay, good.
But I do still feel like a little bit off today. But I don't think I'm going to be like coughing or vomiting throughout the week or anything.
No. No, I think the key is to nip those things in the bud before they get worse.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and you know how Jamie had coronavirus, right?
You mentioned that, yes.
Yeah, so Jamie's back at work. I feel so weird talking about them like this, like I actually know these people. But
like you actually know these people, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I just listen to them all the time. I feel so strange. But this is how I talk to some of my friends about Joe Rogan. And so Jamie's back on the show. Joe was talking to him, and he stresses the importance of having a good immune system. And Jamie's my age, so he asked him, well, how did you feel when you got diagnosed with corona? What was it like for you? And Jamie just said, I felt really bad for a day, and then I got over it. So Joe asked, what did you do? To which Jamie replied, I took plenty of vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc.
And zinc is really good for viruses like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that taking things with zinc in it really does help the healing process when you're trying to get over a cold. And yeah,
my mom loved zinc.
I don't think I've tasted zinc. I may have had like medicine with zinc in it, but I actually have never tasted a zinc pill.
You should make scrambled eggs with zinc in it.
Oh, that's gross.
Yes, babe.
Why do you always think of these weird concoctions?
I don't know, babe. It's just the way my mind works.
Yeah, you have a weird mind.
Oh.
Oh.
I understand, Jaylo, that you had a really good conversation last night.
She referred to me by my last name for the entire episode.
Babes, when we're alone, what do I typically call you? Do I typically call you Alana, or do I call you Jaylo?
No, well, you don't call me Jaylo all the time. I just think it's kind of weird that...
No,
yeah.
but
anyway,
most of the time, what do I call you?
Sometimes it's babes.
I know sometimes it's babes, but I'm saying in general. What do I call you more than anything else?
You don't call me Jaylo all the time, though.
No, but but when if you say I call you Jaylo?
All right. Let me get on to my story before we go around in circles with the whole Jaylo thing.
Okay, Jaylo, where do you keep going?
No. I just thought I would, kind of
give me
mix it up a little, just to, I'm sure people. I'm sure people listen to it and they kind of laugh and they're like, "Oh, I wonder why he calls her that all the time."
True. I have been asked that by my.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I say because that's your last name and that's what I call her.
Because every time you hear it, you think of the other one.
Exactly.
But I don't look like her or act like her or sound like her.
No, babes. Well, I hope you don't act like her. I've been hearing some stories about you in Burlington, though.
First off, I'm not a diva. Secondly, I think you're making up those stories.
Okay, so here's what I heard, and I wonder if you can confirm this. Then we're going to go on to your story. I heard that you have your relatives draw your bath, and you refuse to go in the bathroom to clean up unless there are like roses on the ground from your bedroom to the bathtub.
That would be no. And who does that?
Well, I thought you did, because that's what I heard.
That sounds like something a diva would do, and I'm not a diva.
I also heard that when you want to go downstairs, because right now you're on the second level, you demand that your relatives come into the bedroom and pick you up and carry you downstairs and put you in a seat before you have lunch.
No. Geez, I'm not 6 months old.
Okay.
That sounds like something that...
Those things are not true. I've heard incorrect information.
No, and I'm not 6 months old. I don't need to be put in like a high chair or something.
Well, no, it's a regular chair, but you like to be carried
or a regular chair. No, I can walk down myself.
I know you can, but I just heard that you didn't like to do that.
No. See, you're making things up again.
The other thing I heard, babe, is that when you go upstairs to go to bed, if you go into the bedroom and there's not a mint on top of your pillow, you start freaking out and you wake up everybody in the house.
No.
Mm-mm. Okay. Cool.
No, I have my own mint.
Oh.
I don't need a mint on my pillow.
Well, I'm happy for you. Babel is...
Can I? Yeah.
Yes, you can tell the story.
So we had some people over for Halloween, which I'm not sure why, because we don't really celebrate Halloween. It's not a big thing for us, but I guess my aunt and my other relatives in my extended family came over, and then the daughter of a family friend of mine who I haven't seen in years, I won't say how many years, but a very, very long time, was staying with my relatives, the ones that came over, because her classes are online and she goes to school in California, and she decided to do her classes somewhere else, and then she's going to be coming back to California for Christmas. So, I talked to her for a long time, and she's only 20 years old, but super smart. She doesn't seem like a typical 20-year-old, if you know what I mean.
I do.
She doesn't
what
seem
did
like
you talk about?
We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about why she chose the university she chose. Her friend actually is attending the university that I graduated from. And she came to Washington with her. I didn't get to meet her friend, but I think they're both staying with my relatives until they go back to California, if I'm not mistaken. So we talked about that. We talked about our majors. I asked her about the podcast that she likes to listen to, and she didn't listen to a lot. Like, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but she told me one that I really want to try. It's called Welcome to Night Vale.
And I told you that I've not listened to it, but I've heard about it.
She told me it was funny. She said it reminded her like of a radio show, a radio talk show or something. But it's funny.
Well, so she's 20 years old, but she knows what the radio is.
Something like that. Yeah, I would imagine she has. I would imagine she isn't, stupid and doesn't know what a radio is.
No, but I mean, it's not nearly as popular as it was back when we were.
I mean, granted, she grew up with social media, but she's not. She wasn't born yesterday. I would imagine that her mom.
Babe,
I would imagine that.
Hold on, babes. When we were growing up, it was super common to listen to the radio, but I kind of feel like we were the last generation where that was really a thing.
Maybe we were, but I would imagine that there are young college kids that still know what a radio is, or still have knowledge about what a radio is. I mean, there are people that still have car radios,
Yeah, but nowadays they have them hooked up to a smart device.
Not in my relatives' cars.
How do they live?
They just live, Bubs.
Okay.
not everybody is, not everybody, what do you call it? Not everybody is completely in the 21st century. There are people that still have radios on their buses and cars and things like that. So not everybody has gotten rid of radios as much as you think that they have.
Well, and I should specify that I mean like regular commercial radio, not community radio or college stations, right? Because I have a friend, is my workout buddy, the person who actually got us together. And, he doesn't listen to the radio. He's my age. One day I asked him, what do your kids do? Do they know about the radio? And he says they listen to, like what I just said, like community or college radio station. But the rest of the time they're listening to like Pandora or Spotify.
Right.
Anyways, I just thought that was cool that she even knew what a radio was. Because I think of it like...
so do my nieces and nephew. I mean, it's really not that uncommon that kids would not know about the radio. They weren't born yesterday.
I know, babe, but it's an old piece of technology.
I'm just saying, I mean, even when I was a kid, I knew about a record player because we did have record players, and, record players are obsolete. You don't see them a lot. Maybe you're lucky if you find some LP players, but you don't see them a lot. And
well, actually, vinyl has been making a comeback for several years.
Yeah, vinyl. Okay, vinyl has been making a comeback, I've been hearing. Yeah. So, I mean, to say that, young kids don't know anything about the radio is kind of a blanket statement.
I'm sorry, babes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just be careful.
Oh.
I mean, we're not all that, we're not all that old, but, it's just, the both of us are not that old, but, even my nieces and nephew would know that.
Okay. Well,
in fact, they have a radio in their room. So.
But is it a smart speaker or is it like a traditional?
No, it isn't.
Wow.
You see, I told you.
Wow. Why don't they have smart speakers? I mean, they're cheap now. You can get one for like $20.
I don't know.
Okay.
They don't. I mean, I don't really, I don't really pay attention to whether, who has a smart device and who doesn't have a smart device. It's just not my job.
I saw on Amazon the other day that they're having a sale on the 3rd gen Echo device until I think Thanksgiving, and right now it's like $18.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm just surprised that these kids they have regular radios, but I guess that's me just being me.
That's what you get for assuming stuff.
Oh, yeah, well, anyways, back to your conversation with this 20-year-old who knows about the radio.
Super, super smart girl, really. Yeah, we talked about a little bit about podcasts, not a whole lot. I told her that I remembered her mom, and it kind of makes me feel a little bit old because this was back in the time that I remember seeing her for the first time was this girl's mom. This is back in 1991 when I first came to Washington to visit my relatives who were living there. And my relatives were living on a military base. And this family friend of ours used to hang out with us at the park, and she used to hang out with me and my family, and I mean, really nice lady. And I always wondered how she was doing. And her daughter was texting her, and I asked her to tell her mom that I said hello, and I had to, she had to clarify who I was, and then her mom said that she remembered me.
That's awesome, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, Jay. Whoa.
And then she brought over this really good cake from Safeway. It was a cinnamon pudding cake, but it basically tastes like a coffee cake. It was really good.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time, babes.
I did. The weird thing, though, is, so as far as I know, 6 kids only came to get candy. And then after, like, right before, I think this had to be maybe around between 9 and 10, I heard some fireworks.
I remember we were on the phone when that happened because you called me late last night.
I did, and I was like, "What is that?" And so, so the girl I was talking to, she said that I wouldn't be able to talk to her mom because of in California, in their neighborhood, the fireworks went off. And I'm like, "What is the deal with that?"
I don't know, babe. What was?
Never in my life. What?
Yeah, it's weird. I can't remember a time where I've heard fireworks on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So is this girl's family part of the Filipino community?
Yes. Well, I mean, I've only met her mom.
But now you've met her.
Now I've met her. Yes.
And I'm assuming because your relatives are Filipino that she might be tuned into that community.
Yes, she is.
Very good, babes.
But they're not just friends with Filipino families,
They know white people?
Oh, stop it.
I don't even know white people, babes.
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you do. I can name several. At least I think that they are anyway.
Okay. I'll take your word for it, babe.
Yeah. I know a few of the people that you know. That I'm guessing they're white.
I think I've met some of them before, some white people before, but I really haven't been.
Yeah, I think. I think the place that we met each other at had a bunch of white people there.
I think you're right.
No, it's not a bad thing. We're kidding.
No, it's okay to be white sometimes.
It is okay.
If I'm going to a store to pick out some mayonnaise, I'm taking a white person to help me with that.
Why don't you take me? What?
That was a dumb joke, babe.
That was a dumb joke. I was going to say, why don't you take me? I know a lot about mayonnaise.
I don't eat mayonnaise, so I won't take you because I just never buy it. Have you seen the movie Undercover Brother?
I heard of it. I don't remember if I saw it or not.
It's not the best movie in the world, but there are a couple things in there that really made me laugh. And, God, I hope I haven't said this before to you, but one of the scenes, they're teaching this guy what it's like to be white. And keep in mind, I saw this movie in early 2003, so I might be getting it a little bit wrong. So the guy is eating a sandwich, and he doesn't like it. And the scientist is like, listen, if you're going to fit into the white community, you have to learn how to like mayonnaise. And he says, if anything goes wrong, press this little button on your watch, and it'll spray some barbecue sauce into the sandwich, and nobody will be able to tell. And
no
that just made me laugh because, and that made me laugh because, I'm white, but I've never liked mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, and I love barbecue sauce on sandwiches.
I do like mayonnaise. I don't like Miracle Whip. I think it's gross. But barbecue sauce, of course, I do like. I like barbecue sauce as well.
Yes. Yes, babe.
Spray barbecue sauce in the sandwich, you'll never know.
Yeah. movie itself isn't that good, but that made me laugh.
Well, remember in The Jerk? Remember that? Remember in The Jerk where they were? What was Steve Martin's?
Nathan Johnson.
Yeah.
Nathan Johnson.
Right, Nathan Johnson. And what was his favorite meal? It was like a sandwich, like a some kind of a sandwich.
Yeah. So for his birthday, they're having all this really good food, but the mom made him like this turkey sandwich with mayonnaise and gave him Twinkies. Well, yeah, like while everybody else was eating like fried chicken and veggies.
I thought it was so funny. I was like, that is hilarious. If it was me, I would have been like, is that it? This is lunch.
Yeah. And then he can't dance to music until he hears like Lawrence Welk on the radio, and then he starts to be able to dance to it. I thought that was great.
That was so funny. No, that movie was. There were some weird things to the movie, but for the most part, I thought it was funny.
Oh, I think that movie's excellent. I love that movie. I think it's one of Steve Martin's best films.
Especially when they pick him up and he gets Marie back and gives her this water bottle. It's like, well, it's like I like the gesture, but the smell. Ooh.
Oh.
It's like, all right, you get to sit in the back with the dog.
Oh.
Oh, and she knocks Patty out.
Yes. Early in the movie.
And you never hear from her again. You never hear from Patty again. She knocked her out.
She's just gone.
She's gone, yep.
And then he has that disco. Such a great
The disco room?
Yep.
Is that when they had, they wanted to get a disco room so they can have people dance at their disco room or something? How does that work?
Well, they had dancers at their disco, but that's when they watched that interview with him where he's pontificating about himself. But it gets interrupted on TV because Carl Reiner, who actually directed the movie The Jerk, plays himself and is suing Nathan Johnson.
Who is Nathan Johnson?
Nathan is a complex person. Really three people.
So funny.
It's a great movie, babes.
Yes, it is. No, but it was a fun night. Yes, it was.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, babes.
Minus the fireworks.
Yes. While you were doing that, I was on the phone with two friends of mine, and we were talking about the upcoming election, all that good stuff.
But wait, that was like earlier in the afternoon, wasn't it?
What happened was we were supposed to talk from 2:15 until 4, but my one friend totally spaced on it and called me at 3:05. We called our other associates, talked until like 4, and then my friend who called me late said, "Hey guys, can we do this again at 5:30? We have visitors to the house." So then he called back and we talked from 5:30 to 7:30.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was fun.
And then what did you do after 7:30?
I listened to the radio and heard some good music. And I basically just listened to podcasts. I listened to my favorite Glenn Miller station on the radio.
Glenn Miller is great.
No, he's good. He's good.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I didn't call you until about 10.
I know. I was about to get ready to go to bed, and then I hear my phone ring, and I answer, and I hear, "Oh, it's Jaylo."
So I'm sorry. I was lost in conversation. I was eating really good food.
That's okay, babe.
Oh, we had some really good ribs last night. Oh, and these ribs don't actually need barbecue sauce because of the way that they're cooked, and they were just my favorite. No, me.
That's awesome, babes.
Yes, it was very good. Really good. Yeah, so it was it was kind of a fun evening. My relatives were watching this like scary Filipino movie, and I just didn't want to watch it. I didn't. They're scary, those movies. They can be really scary.
I like some scary movies, but I get that they're not for everybody.
I don't like the scary movies, especially the music. The music is what really, really scares me about the movies.
Babes, if you would have stayed in town, we could have had an Unsolved Mysteries marathon.
No.
Turned on the fan, turned off the heat so your skin gets really chilly. We could have kept your door unlocked and like propped it open.
No, yeah, and then keep me up by doing that? I don't think so.
Oh.
No.
Maybe next year, babe.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, and then somebody breaks into my house and takes all my candy? I don't think so.
Oh, she will.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she will.
That's not right. That's not right.
No.
That's not right.
No, she will.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, babes. How do you feel knowing that people are going to write about this weekend and upcoming week in like 200 years, assuming that there's still some form of society? Like, we're really living in a time that historians are going to talk about. With the upcoming.
It's kind of cool, actually, because we are already a part of history.
Right, obviously, but
we are. No, I'm talking about other events besides this. Like,
no, I know.
I
hear you. I hear you, but I'm saying this is going to amplify it a lot.
Yes, I know. But we are the generation that is a part of something truly big. And it's, I think it's kind of cool, actually.
I was thinking about this before you called, and I'm like, I'm just sitting here, and historians are going to write about this. They're going to talk about this week. And I just remember thinking how weird that is, that I'm living it now, and 200 or 300 years from now, people are still going to be talking about this week.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming, again, the society lasts and, all that good stuff.
Oh, I think it will. It may.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it wouldn't really matter because most of us will be gone.
I know, but it's still kind of to think about, babes.
No, I honestly think it's kind of an exciting thing because this is not going to happen. I guess the one time that was big besides this, if you're talking about elections, is like 1864.
I would actually go to 2000.
To 2000?
Right, because of the way the election went with Al Gore and George W. Bush. But even that, I think, is like, it's close, but it's not nearly as important as this one. So I guess I just misused the word close, but it's the closest example I could think of within our lifetime. And 1864 isn't within our lifetime, but it's within the lifetime of our country.
It is.
Yes,
it is.
Yes. We'll have to see what happens, babes. When do you think we'll know who won?
I think it'll be on Tuesday. I don't expect to. I would hope that it would not go until the next week.
Yeah, but even the guy who you're supporting has said that he doesn't think that we'll know on Tuesday.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. In the first debate, he did.
Well, what do you? Oh, he said that because
Yes,
I
he
heard
did.
that. I heard.
you can
I
go
heard
back
the
and rewatch
entire.
it.
I
He
heard
said that
the
in the
entire
very-
first.
He said that in the very first debate. He said he doesn't think that they'll know by Tuesday night.
And by the way, he could have been joking about it because by the way, I just heard a rally just this morning, and he said
Go ahead.
he said that on November 3rd you have to vote. So to me, when I hear that, it sounds to me like he is not expecting people to not know who it is after November 3rd.
But he also does lie a lot, so maybe it felt like they wouldn't know.
Oh, and Joe Biden.
It felt like we wouldn't be able to, be able to still be elected.
Joe Biden is the biggest liar in this whole entire thing. He's lied. He's lied for the entire debate, especially the last one.
What did he say in the last one that was fake? Listen, he has lied before, but I think Trump lied
the entire. No. Trump never has lied in that debate. every time Joe Biden has tried to duck an answer, Trump has always come back and said, "Yeah, well, what about this? I mean,
what about this? Example?
About what?
Of Joe Biden lying. And I'm not saying that he hasn't lied, by the way. I'm just saying to say that he always lies.
He has. He's lied about he lied about his son taking a whole bunch of money from Ukraine. Actually, Ukraine has given his entire family a whole bunch of money. He's also lied about saying that he would ban fracking. And he's been quoted saying that.
Are you saying? Let's go through this one issue at a time. The Hunter Biden thing is very complicated to me. I do think that there's something there, but I also think that the Republicans are blowing it out of proportion. So, I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. As far as I understood it, and you can Google this because, again, I get things wrong a lot, so I'm not going to say that I'm the only arbiter of news. I believe that there have been 2 congressional investigations into Hunter Biden. Both investigations had Republicans and Democrats, so it was bipartisan, and both investigations ended with them clearing Hunter Biden. Now, beyond that, there was a thing on Tucker Carlson this week, which I don't watch, but I watch people who show videos of him. And he was saying that he had definitive proof that there was more to the story, but the evidence got lost in the mail. Which really?
Oh, I heard. I actually heard that entire. I actually heard about that, and I heard that episode in its entirety.
But what do you think about that?
And I think there is.
So they're not going to scan the copies that they have electronic proof.
You're asking me what I think about it, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it.
Go ahead.
Okay. First off, there's definitely more to this Hunter Biden story, and I think it's all coming out in the wash. There has been pictures on his laptop that were surfaced, and one of the pictures happened to be of him and his niece, and that was really disgusting. There's some other things. Huh?
Nothing. They keep going. It's on the shocking.
Yes, Hunter's definitely keeping in the family. I mean, and we both and I did tell you that it is true. There's also something that has come out concerning his Joe Biden's own daughter, which is really, really disturbing.
What's come out against her?
No, it's not against her. It's against her father.
Okay.
So apparently there were some journals that came out that was explaining something about what happened to her when she was a kid. And it may have involved her father. And it had to do with... Yes.
I will check into that. I have my doubts, though, but keep going.
And there is proof that there are pictures out there of Hunter Biden in a very provocative pose with his then 14-year-old niece, which is really disturbing because I don't know whose child she is, but I'm guessing it is the same. Her mother may be the woman that he got together after his own brother died, and that was his widow. That was his brother's widow.
I don't know if any of this is true, but I'll check into it.
I would check into it. I really would. I mean, this is. I know some people would say that this isn't important, but I think it is.
Well, I'll tell you, Hunter Biden is not running for president, so it's
he may not be running. No, it still is a big deal. He may not be running for president, but this is showing just how shady the dealings with the Biden family have been, and how Joe Biden has been in office for 47 years, and his family has been packing in a whole bunch of money, and they're getting rich off of Ukraine, and their businesses, their business dealings are very shady.
Well, what do you think, though, of the patents that Ivanka Trump has gotten from China, or the fact that Trump left his kids in charge of running his businesses instead of putting his money in a blind trust, like most presidents have done?
Okay, first off, he is not. You can't compare him. You can't really compare him to any career politician. He's going to do what he's going to do. He trusts his kids with his business. I mean, he didn't even have to. Of
course, I would trust my kids with my business too, instead of just putting money away in some blind trust.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, if you're saturating your mind with liberal bias, of course you're going to believe everything you hear from liberal outlets, because they're never going to tell you the truth. They're only going to tell you what they want to tell you, and then they're thinking that you're going to believe it. So of course you're going to believe all that stuff. But you're not going to look at the other stuff that isn't being reported. That are being reported on. No, you may not ask me something, because I heard you talk the whole time.
Okay, let me ask you this then, since I can't ask you something. Do you believe what Tucker Carlson said about they just happened to lose the only copy of these documents that would incriminate Hunter Biden? It seems a little bit far-fetched to me.
That what?
That they lost the only copies of this evidence that would incriminate Hunter Biden in the mail.
No. Hold on. Let me talk, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
His staff made copies of what happened. He was sending something in the mail, but his point was that it wasn't that he didn't make any copies. He did make copies, but somebody has been reading his text between him and I forgot what his name was, Roger something, because they were corresponding, but somebody was been trying to interfere in their conversation, and it wasn't that he didn't make any copies. Of course, he wasn't stupid enough to not make any copies. It's just that there's been some interference. Somebody has been looking and listening to their text messages. Whoever's doing it has been able to trace them. Of course, you wouldn't be stupid enough to not make copies.
That's the way I heard.
No, he would not be stupid enough to make copies. He's made copies of it in case something got lost.
Okay. So the way I heard it was that the documents were sent through UPS and that they lost it. And that didn't make any sense to me. That just sounded like, they're completely lying about this.
No, UPS, what happened is they were sent, but the drive was taken out of the envelope. And for some reason,
copies of that drive.
He made copies of it. The drive was taken out of the envelope, so for some reason it was separated, but the drive was sent back to them intact. But why would it be separated from the envelope? That's exactly what happened. Of course he made copies.
Okay, I would check into that more then, babes. But either way, it doesn't really matter to me because I don't care about Hunter Biden because he's not running for president.
Well, I think he should.
Well, by that logic,
just because he isn't running for president, I think it puts a big stain on the Biden campaign.
Yeah, I
think it's a total disgrace.
By that logic, babe, and I may have told you this before, but shouldn't we judge Osama bin Laden's niece for supporting Donald Trump because her uncle orchestrated 9/11?
No, that's a totally different thing. No, that's a totally different thing.
You're judging if you're going to judge Joe Biden based on
No, but this is different because this is actually criminal activity. The fact that Osama bin Laden's niece is supporting an American president, that doesn't make for criminal activity.
No,
Joe Biden's son Hunter has been working with his father, and his father was responsible for firing that Ukrainian prosecutor that was supposed to interview his son. His son is already in big trouble. Not only does his son have this huge drug problem, but he's been taking. He was a part of a Ukrainian company and taking money from Ukraine.
Listen,
so I mean, there's been some criminal dealings with this family. The fact that Osama bin Laden's niece is supporting the president is not criminal. Is a difference.
Well, you don't think that what Osama bin Laden did was criminal?
I know. What Osama bin Laden did was criminal, but what his niece is doing is not criminal.
Right, but if we're going to judge people on what their family members do, I don't understand why we can't.
No, it's a totally different thing because Joe Biden has been saying and doing some things. Not only has he denied, but his son, he's been doing things to help his son that are shady. He's been doing that. And
listen,
the fact that his son is working with his father on this is not like a niece supporting the American president, and she may even be against her uncle now that her uncle is dead, but she is not doing criminal. She's not involved in any shady dealings like Joe Biden has been.
Okay.
And both him and his son are involved in shady dealings that I honestly that may put someone in federal prison. There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
A lot of people would argue that Trump has done shady dealings and that if he wasn't the president, he'd be in federal prison. But we will see, babe.
Yeah, those are people that are liberally biased and they won't know the truth if it bit them in the butt. But
May I ask you something, babe?
No, you may not.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you something then.
No, you may not.
Oh, how do you feel? I'm going to ask you, babe.
No. And then I'm not going to answer.
Okay, so I'm just going to say my piece, and then you're just going to listen. So I'm curious, babes. You love your nieces and nephews, right?
Oh, you're going to bring them up?
Because I want to ask you a question, but I'm leading to something. Do you love them, right?
Of course I do.
Okay, have they ever made mistakes?
Well, whether they did or not, I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know how big.
Okay, I'm not saying that they made huge mistakes, but do you think that your nieces or nephews who you love have ever made mistakes?
Oh, I'm sure every niece and nephew have made mistakes in their lives. I'm sure, yes.
Okay, roll with me here for a second, babe. How would you feel if you found out that your nieces or nephews could never admit when they did something wrong?
Could never, like they lied about it?
Yeah, and they would just refuse to admit whenever they would do something wrong. How would that make you feel?
Well, that would be very frustrating, but of course I wouldn't be the one to discipline them.
Right, but it would be frustrating though, let's say, right? Now, how would you feel if they don't just do that now, but in 20 years they do the same thing?
Well, I would hope that they would eventually learn their lesson, but I'm not the one to discipline them.
Right, I know you're not the one to discipline them, but would you feel good about that?
Of course not.
Okay, well then why do you feel so good about a president who never admits to doing anything wrong?
Well, why? Okay, so first off, like I said, you saturate your mind with all this liberal bias. They'll never report on anything he does right. All they want to do is they want to get him out of office, and whatever is thrown at him, it's always debunked. And I refuse to believe differently because I know what the evidence is, and you're not going to convince me. And you're also not going to convince me. You're also not going to convince me that the fact that Osama bin Laden's niece supporting the president is just as bad as what Hunter Biden is doing is a complete crock.
Okay, but it also, I mean, listen, I was just kind of throwing that out there as an example because I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but I do think that it's interesting that Fox News has her on as Osama bin Laden's niece and promotes it as a good thing that she's a fan of Trump. That is a little bit suspect to me.
That's not suspect. Yeah, well, okay, first off, do you think it's okay if a person is brought up, and the only reason why I'm bringing this, and I'm trying to use as an example, if a person is brought up in a really racist family, do you think it's okay that the person grows up and turns away from their family's ideas about racism? Because you and I don't.
I think that's great.
So case in point, Osama bin Laden was a terrorist. He has since was killed. His niece decides to support another president, and you think that's wrong?
I don't think that that's wrong, but I do think that it's interesting that Fox News frames it as we're having on Osama bin Laden's niece who's going to support Donald Trump. Like, that's a very weird endorsement. Because you know that she would not be on there if she was just some random lady.
And so what does that matter?
So you're having on somebody, you're advertising that she's related to a terrorist who attacked this country, and you're saying that she's for the president.
What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that I think it's interesting, but the fact that she is the niece of a terrorist, I think she can support whoever she wants to support. And if she's on an American show and she's supporting the president, I don't see anything wrong with it.
I think that she can support whoever she wants to too, but I think that it's misleading because from the media standpoint of Fox News to have her on and advertise her as the niece of a terrorist who's now supporting this person for president.
Well, right? And I think what she
would not be on there if she wasn't his niece.
Would you let me talk for a minute?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, babe.
What I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted.
Not by me, but go ahead.
Well, who else would it be?
I don't know, babe. Keep going.
Oh, you're going to be in trouble.
Oh, okay. What do you have?
Well, what I'm going to say, and then we can finish this subject because I'm already worked up already.
Oh.
And I know you're just loving that. I know you just completely relish in that.
Hey, keep going.
Wait. Okay.
I love you, babe. Go on.
Oh my gosh. No, I love you too. But anyway, what I was going to say is that I didn't see the episode, so I really can't comment on it as much as I want to. But I'll just say that I don't know that they were having her on to endorse the president, because they could have anybody on to endorse the president. And usually the ones that endorsed him are the hot shots in the in sports or in the business world or what have you. I think they probably had her on there because it's a totally what's the word I'm looking for? It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's just an interesting thing. Not that she it's just an interesting thing to have somebody on like that. Not so that she can endorse him, but because it's different. It's a different dynamic.
I just find it interesting. But I guess it makes sense because, her uncle was killed by Barack Obama's military, so I could see why she would endorse somebody who's running against his vice president. But I love you, babes.
Babes?
What? What, babes?
I love you too, but you have a weird way of thinking about stuff, babes.
Oh, I think I have a normal way of thinking about things, okay?
No, really, I bet you if I took a journey into your mind and got all twisted up in it, I'd be like, oh, this is real. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of here.
Well, you know what Tara Brock says. Something to
your
the
mind
effect
is like a bad neighborhood. You don't want to be there at night.
You don't want to go there alone, but very close.
You don't want to go there alone. Yeah.
Your mind is like a bad neighborhood at night. You don't want to go there alone. I think. Something like that. So apparently I've told you before.
Well, I'm glad that we don't have to go into people's minds.
No, babes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, hopefully the election will be declared somewhat early and Joe Biden will win and we can get past this, babes.
Joe Biden didn't have a chance. I think it's funny. I think it's just
yeah. I
very,
mean,
very
I am
funny.
afraid that he's going to lose, but we got to see what happens.
I don't think he's going to win even by a long shot. I think he's holding on to hope, and the Biden supporters are holding on to hope that maybe Joe Biden will be somewhat coherent in the next wherever he goes. Actually, no. I think he's stopping these rallies today. He's only going to 4.
I think you're correct. And Trump is going to more rallies than he is, but
he is going to more rallies. But I think Joe Biden is holding on to hope that he'll sound somewhat coherent by the last rally, and that maybe he'll have to calm him down with a nap and a hot cup of cocoa.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but Trump wins. I don't know if our country can take another 4 years of this, but we'll see.
Our country can definitely. Our country needs another 4 years of this. And the people that are against it, I think, should consider a different country to move to.
So I hate that attitude. If you're against the president, you should move out of the country. You can be against the president and still be for America.
Well, here's the reason why I think that. And I'm not talking about just the president. I'm talking about the values that our country holds, but this is why I think about that, because the people who say that if President Trump wins, I'm going to leave the country, but they never do. I'm not talking about the people that don't like it and they're still here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that say that they're going to leave the country and they never do.
But the president says a lot of things. He keeps saying that he's going to release his answer to Obamacare, and he never does.
I'm telling you, Bubs, you're completely blinded.
Oh, it is.
I really think that if you read other media sources, but that were not that didn't think the same way that your sources thought, I think you might see things a little more differently.
We should do another news exchange, babe.
But you
keep
won't.
Talking. No, I will. Why don't we do another news exchange after the election, of course, because that's going to be crazy. But why don't we plan on doing another news exchange? You tell me a conservative news program or outlet to pay attention to, and I'll tell you like a lefty one to pay attention to, and we'll do a news exchange again.
I wonder if how many newspapers does Newsline for the Blind have?
I don't know the exact number, but they have a fair amount. It's pretty sizable.
Did you say that their website is better than I don't like their phone line.
I don't like their phone line either. Their website is okay. Yeah, it's not great, but it's okay.
I could probably find some. You know what? I should look on Bard and see what newspapers and magazines they have, because I don't usually listen to a lot of newspapers.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, Bard just has magazines, but I think they do have some conservative ones and some liberal ones too. So I would totally be open to doing another news exchange if you want.
Let me think about that.
Okay. Yes. That could be fun, babes. Yes, babes. Well, I'm glad you got a little bit worked up.
Yeah, you just love when I get worked up, don't you?
I think it's cute, babes.
You just completely revel in it. You're like, oh, I wonder how much I can push your buttons.
No, I barely.
Sometimes I wonder if you do it on purpose.
But I mean, you are a little bit reactionary, though, babe. So it's easy.
Well, think about it. If I wasn't reactionary, how boring would that be?
That's true. But yeah, let's do another news exchange whenever you want to. After this week, of course. You sound tired, babes.
I'm a little bit tired, but I'm not too tired.
Oh. Good.
Okay. A little bit crampy, but we will not go there.
Is it almost that time?
Oh, I said we weren't going to go there.
Okay, never mind. Sorry, babes, I didn't know.
I just said.
Sorry, babes, I wasn't paying attention.
No, you're not paying attention.
Oh.
Have you got attention?
I pay attention to you. I love you, babes.
Okay, actually, I was just kidding about that. I'm just kidding. Okay,
you're the most adorable. You're the most adorable, deplorable I've ever met, babes.
Hey, cool. I can be an adorable, deplorable. I wear that badge with honor. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, good, babes. I love you, babes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now what were you going to ask me?
I don't even remember now.
Did I get my what?
I remember. Did you get your tickets to come back yet?
No, I did not.
Okay, babes. You don't have to be so mean about it.
Bubba.
What?
No, because you asked me yesterday, and I've only been here for like 3 days.
Sorry, babes. You do have to get back soon to check your mail for that thing, but I love you, babes.
Bubs, I will tell you when I get the tickets, or if my relative will get the tickets. I don't know.
Oh, yes, babe, boys. Did you have any strange dreams last night?
I did not. I haven't been having dreams lately.
Huh. See, I did have a dream, but I don't really remember what it was. But I dreamt about you the night before. We were hanging out outside, and these people were watching us as we were talking on the street. We go into this building, and it's sort of this, like, open building. It's really weird. Like, they had staircases, but they didn't have full walls. And we walked up a couple staircases. Then somebody I know called you. And I remember thinking, why are they reaching out to Jaylo? And then I woke up.
And you recognize the person?
Yes, but I'm not going to say it here.
And I know who this person is?
Yes.
And we're good friends with this person?
No. We know who this person is.
No, we're not?
No, we're not.
Okay. Well, what about the people that were watching us on the street in the dream? Did we know them?
No, we did not know the people on the street, but they're kind of like watching us as we were talking in the stream.
Okay.
Yes.
Very odd.
Yes, babe, was.
Huh. Okay.
Yes, babes.
Yes, Bobs.
Yes, babes. How you feeling, babes?
I'm good.
Good, babes.
I am glad the debate's over. Our debate,
Oh.
I mean.
I'll be so glad when Tuesday is finally over. I mean, whoever wins. Obviously, I have somebody that I want to win, but even beyond that, just when it's over, we don't have to deal with it for another few years. You know?
Yes.
Yes.
Like.
Yes. I do think whoever wins, there's going to be violence. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden. I just see it not going well for, because somebody's going to be upset, or a good amount of people are going to be. So, but we'll see.
We will see.
Yes.
My relative is completely terrified. Not terrified, but she's just really worried, and she wants to go back with me, which I've agreed to.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see if I can talk to her about her going back up north a week after I get back. And
yeah,
then,
definitely. Because we got to have some fun too, babes.
Yeah, and then I come and meet her here for Thanksgiving.
I think you should do that, babes. And I thought you said that you wanted her to stay for less than a week after you come back.
No, that wasn't a talking season. I wasn't sure how that was what was gonna happen with that.
Okay.
It hasn't been set in stone yet.
Nice.
What's gonna happen?
Because I think what I would do, and I'm not you, and I don't know this relative nearly as well as you do, but I would stress the fact that she has relatives in the area that you are now, and that it would be nice for them to get to spend time with her, and also that way so you're not driving her crazy for another week and a half.
Or if she's not driving me crazy for another week.
No, I know, but this is how you phrase things to people, babes.
Yeah.
I don't know, babes. But what
so what I worry about, and I know, I guess I don't know if I should do this, but I think I need to be honest. Because I worry about, because she wants to move back to the States again, which is good for us. And then, go out of the country when she can. But what I worry about is, how often is she going to be coming to Oregon, and if she comes to Oregon, is she going to stay with me for 2 weeks all the time?
Yeah.
Or that's what I worry about, because then it takes a lot out of my, whatever I need to do.
Yeah. Honestly, babe, I would very kindly put your foot down in a loving way. So, what I mean by that is have a serious discussion with her about it. What would that look like? Would you want to come up for 2 weeks at a time every time and stay with me? And to say, I love you, but that might not be feasible for these specific reasons. I think it's better to have the discussions about that sooner rather than later.
Because then I have to figure out, well, can I put aside 2 weeks, or do I have other things going on?
Right. But this is what I'm telling you, babe. This is why you need to have a discussion about it, pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Because otherwise what's going to happen is she's going to move back and she's going to be up there for 2 weeks at a time, and you're going to be like, I can't believe she's back here again. And they'll say, well, you should have talked to her about it before, and you'll be like, you sound like a nagging husband, okay?
No. No, I wouldn't say that about that. No, I actually would tell you that because it would have been my fault, actually.
Yes.
Because, like, wait a minute, I was going to talk to her about it. Why did I do this again?
Yes. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes, bad boys. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Jaylo. Well, hopefully you guys can have a nice heart-to-heart about it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't get me wrong. I mean, I do like when she visits, but sometimes it's a little bit stressful for me too.
Yeah, I get that. It's just the way life is, babes.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, stressful because then I have to be accommodating, and then not only do I have to be accommodating, and she wants to help a lot, and she means well though, but it's like I need my space.
Yeah, I imagine it feels like you're always on.
I'm always on alert.
Yeah, when you have somebody staying with you like that.
Absolutely, I'm always on alert anyway. Because if something happens to this person, I'm liable for it.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean?
I feel like I would be. I feel like I would be responsible for it. Is what I mean.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Not exactly, but okay.
Well, you know what I mean. If somebody's over at your place and something happens to them, seriously.
Okay. In that case, then maybe that's something you want to bring up in the discussion.
Yeah, I don't know. I may bring that up, but for the most part, the reason why it's hard is, I feel like I have to be accommodating, and then it's like, well, it's my spot.
Yeah. You want to be able to
am I ever going to have?
Yeah,
am I ever going to have this? Right. Am I ever going to have this place to myself?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, babe, I know I just said that, but I'll just repeat it again. I think you have to have, like, a nice but firm conversation about, hey, maybe when we go back up to Portland, you stay for, like, 3 or 4 days instead of a week. And maybe let's talk about what it would look like if you were to move back. But, I've said my piece, babes.
And I'm not sure what she wants to do because she wants to help me get a table. And
yes, that's what I'm saying, babe. Just have a conversation instead of just being like, I'm not sure, I don't know what's going to happen, and we're in here. Just have a conversation, babe. So that's all you need to do. That's not all you need to do, but that's a good next step.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, babe. Boys.
Yes.
I hope it's helpful, babes.
Yes, it was.
Oh, good, babe. It was good.
Yes, it was.
Yes, babe, it was. Yes, babe, it was.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to get into when we get off the phone?
Maybe watch a little TV. I'm not sure what else. Probably eat lunch soon.
Nice. I'm thinking about watching some Rick and Morty, season 4.
Oh, season 4 already. Wow.
Yep. I watched the first 2 episodes when it came out last year, and it didn't really feel like there was a coherent storyline. But if I give it another chance, perhaps I'll start to feel differently about it.
Okay.
Yes, babes.
Smangela. Smarthan.
Smornathan.
Samantha. Smona.
When are you going to get back into that show, babe?
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with that show because there's just, Rick and Morty's funny, but it's kind of, it's a little dark. Not quite as dark as I kind of go back and forth with both that show and BoJack Horseman because, I mean, in general, those kinds of cartoons are not really for me.
Okay.
And I just think, you know, a lot of the humor is funny, but it's also really vulgar and dark, and I'm not really into that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with it. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I do think with BoJack Horseman, though, there's some deeper messages behind just the humor.
It just seemed just so depressing. Some of them.
Oh, so good. It's such a good show. Masterpiece.
Would you agree with me about that?
Yeah, I can barely hear you, babe.
Would you agree with me about that at least?
That it's a dark show? And depressing?
Not that it's a dark show, that sometimes it's just really heavy and depressing.
I would agree with you, but I think that there's a lot of good shows that are depressing.
Sorry, that was my lotion tube. Anyway, sorry about that. I don't know how it's going to come out about the when I have that the phone in between my shoulder and ear.
I'm sure
I need to get an. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I need to get an earpiece.
I know, babes.
Because my earphones do not fit in there.
Yes. Yes, babe.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but
I know, babes. But it's not going to stop me from loving you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that's supposed to mean as far as that with the earphones, but okay.
Okay. Do you know what you're going to have for lunch today?
I don't know. It might be, and I'm being alerted that the battery's low. What happens with lunch, sometimes is I'll have some leftovers. So I don't know, I may have some leftovers from last night, which will be really good because we had some good stuff last night.
Nice.
So, and we may have some fish.
Yeah.
Which the fish that was made is really, really good.
What kind of fish is it?
It's a type of a Filipino type of a fish.
Okay.
With some bones in it.
Mm.
It's really good. The way that it's cooked is really, really good and flavorful.
Nice, babes.
Yes.
Yes. Very good, babes.
Very good.
Did you listen to any good music last night?
Not really. It's possible that what I was watching, or maybe if there was like the TV on, had some music in it, but I didn't really pay attention. Yeah. Okay. You can find music in pretty much anything. I don't really, I don't think that it's, it's a waste of my time if I don't hear like playlists every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very good, babes.
Yes, you can find music in pretty much any kind of media.
Yes.
As long as you can find it.
Yes. So I know your phone is dying, and so we should probably wrap this up soon. But one last question.
I just charged it, but you can ask me one last question if you want. I'm charging it.
Maybe I'll ask even more after that. We'll see how it goes. Okay. What, if any, self-love exercises do you plan to do for the next couple of days?
Well, that's a good question. So I've been, so my relatives have the same trampoline that I have. And I've been trying to make a point to jump on it in the morning. And I think I need to up it, to up my exercise more and jump on it more times during the day. So that's one of the things I want to do. And I've been catching up on my sleep because, sleep is very, very essential to your health, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yes, those are two of the things so far that I can think of.
That's good stuff, babes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I probably shouldn't keep you from your family, babes, and from a deep conversation with you. What would you?
Hello, Jill. Well, what are you going to do this? Well, okay, so what are you thinking about doing for yourself?
I'm thinking of having a really bad diet, depriving myself of rest, watching the most scariest news stories I can, and avoid meditation at all costs. No. I honestly, I probably am going to go off my diet a little bit this week, just because it is going to be a little bit stressful, not just for me, but for everybody. And I may not have the best sleep on Tuesday night, but I am going to try to sleep well tonight and also tomorrow night. So I'm not just going off several days of bad sleep going into the election day. And
no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, and also connect with people, not just you, but friends. Just see where things go from there, and keep a somewhat consistent meditation practice.
Right.
Yes. And also try to stay off social media to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, but you're not like super addicted to social media either.
No, but I have been using it a lot more since the lockdown, just because it is a way to connect with people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, good.
Yes, babe. Oh, good, babes.
Okay.
Okay, babes. Well, you probably want to have your Jaylo time.
Yeah, I'm going to take a nap. I don't know. I might take a little one. Yes.
Well, I hope you have fun.
I cannot believe that it's already November 1st. Can you believe that?
I can, just because it's been a super long year.
It seems like it, but it seems like towards November, it just seemed like it was starting to move along. But that's just me. I mean, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Hopefully by this time next year, we'll be able to go out and have fun and all that good stuff.
Right.
Yes, babes.
Even more so. Ooh, something cooking. I don't know what it is, but it smells really good. But anyway.
Oh, you know what you should do, babes?
What?
You should run downstairs, find out who's cooking, and jump on top of them.
And disturb them from cooking? I don't think so. No, I know who's cooking.
Oh, good.
I know who's cooking.
Very nice.
But I don't want to disturb this person.
Good.
Because what if they ruin the meal?
That's true. Good point, babes.
You see? Because of me and because of the person who suggested that I jump on the person. What's the matter with you, folks?
Oh, babes. I don't know, babes. But I love you, babes.
I love you, too. It was a good debate. Good episode.
All right, I was right as usual, but, still good for me to test.
You're not. Skills. No, I think we should say that Rick thinks that he's right, but really I'm the one who's right, and he's just too scared to admit it. We'll just leave it at that. You're just too scared to admit it, Bugs.
I don't know, babes. What if I caught a total awakening in you, and in 4 years you're talking about AOC and how great she is?
I think if anything, I'd like to think that I would cause total awakening in you, and you realize that AOC is a complete moron.
I love you, babes.
And everything she says is not gold.
Not everything. Listen, I don't agree with everybody 100% of the time, but I think for a politician, she says, I agree with her more than I disagree.
Typical. She's a typical politician, and the only reason why millennials like her is because she's saying what they want to hear, and she's just nothing but a girl from New York Town Heights.
who's intelligent and
Sandy Cortez from New Yorktown Heights, growing up in privilege.
Sounds like somebody's a little bit jealous and bitter there, but I still love you, babes.
I'm not jealous and bitter. I'm just telling you the truth. She's an elitist.
All right, whatever, babes.
Know-it-all.
Oh, whatever.
She's know-it-all. Yeah.
Yes.
I still love you too, even though you're wrong.
4 years, maybe you'll be singing a different tune. But until then, babes, I should probably let you go and check on that food. Have a good time doing that.
Okay. Well, whatever you eat, which sounds like it's going to be good, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I have some leftover baked spaghetti. And then yesterday I started preparing some focaccia pizza dough. So tomorrow I'm going to have that.
Are you going to, once you're feeling a little bit better, are you going to make your cake?
I'm thinking about it later this week.
Very good, very good.
Yes, babes.
Well, all right, Bubs.
All right, babes, I love you.
I love you too. I will call you later.
Sounds good, babes.
Okay. Until next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now.